of the O-Dome in Gainesville, Florida. O'Connell Center. A tough place for any opponent, especially if you're named Kentucky. The Wildcats and the Gators have shared the SEC East the last 2 seasons. Tonight they're in a must-win situation, both coming off weekend losses. Here's how they look for Tubby Smith and Billy Donovan. Some changes in the lineup tonight. Chuck Hayes and Eric Daniels will start for Kentucky with Hawkins, Prince, and Estill. Haslam and Bonner. Ronnie King, a walk-on, will start his first game for the Gators tonight. Orion Green and Justin Hamilton round out the starting 5.
I got a feeling we're going to see some names called Nelson and Bogan. There could be a little message being sent loud and clear.
For the first time in 120 games, a walk-on starts for Florida. The last one to do it was Dan Williams for Billy Donovan. Back in '88, he was a heck of a shooter. Ronnie King is a scrapper and one of the crowd favorites, and he gets his first start in the orange and blue tonight. Brad Nessler and Dick Vitale, a key game in the SEC as Super Tuesday is about to heat up in the O-Dome. Gerald Boudreau's got it in hand, and Estill knocks it into the backcourt. King is the first to touch, and Florida will bring it to the front court in the person of Hamilton.
Well, last night we were in a great environment down there in Fog Allen Fieldhouse, and tonight we have another great environment with the Rowdy Reptiles.
Here's Bonner on top.
Haslam, they're going to look for Haslam early in this game.
3 straight double-doubles for Udonis. Here he is on the drive, has to kick it back outside, and Hayes got a piece of it to knock it into the backcourt. 8 on the shot clock now, as Hamilton will have to be aware of that. A double team. Bonner's going to have to throw one up there. Just got it away, and got it!
Uh-oh, that's a bad sign for Kentucky when a shot like that goes down, Brad. Here comes the full court trap, typical frenetic style by the Gators.
They're going to call that shot of Bonner's a 2. The officials had a difference of opinion. They put 2 on the board.
They have a difference. They can go to the monitor to make sure you're allowed to utilize it this year for a 2 and 3.
The official on the far side had both arms up. Gerald Boudreau looked at the scoreboard and said 2. He was the closest man to the action. Prince on the drive.
That's a
whistle, wave it off.
That's a great sign, though. At least he's attacking the basket. They want him to get a little bit more aggressive offensively.
The foul was on number 1, Orion Green.
Orion Green picks up the foul.
First team foul.
Green gives him a lot of versatility. Billy Donovan and Smith, very familiar with one another, having served on a staff at Kentucky under Rick Pitino.
They now have put 3 points on the board. They had 3 initially. Now one scoreboard's got 3, one's got 2. They just switched them both back to 2. We'll get this figured out in a second. They've had both scores on the board, and both officials have talked to the scorer's table. They may have to go over one more time and get this thing straightened out. They now officially have 2 up on both scoreboards. Billy Donovan working the sideline at his 6th season. He and Tubby Smith with Kentucky on Rick Pitino's staff at Kentucky. So 2 guys that played a lot of pickup basketball together, and they're very good friends. But in this case, for a couple hours, that friendship goes away.
Yeah, both guys fierce competitors. Also on that staff was Ralph Willard at Holy Cross and Herb Sendick, who I'll see tomorrow night with that improving NC State team, 16-4.
Here's Prince inside. Good move by Tayshaun Prince, and as Dick said, he appears, at least in the early going, to be more aggressive.
Well, he was aggressive when we had him against Duke, and then he seemed a little passive. I think the one area of the game that he's got to improve on is move without the basketball, something we talked about last night with Kareem Rush.
Bonner looking into Haslam. And a whistle and a foul. It'll be on Estill.
Haslam's been so tough inside. As you said, 3 consecutive double-doubles this year. First time in the SEC since a guy by the name of De Klerk did it.
Florida back in the mid-90s. Bonner, double team. Nice ball movement. Nobody seems to want to take a shot.
Trying to get overload against that zone.
Green takes a 3. Bonner trying to keep it alive, but it's Prince with the rebound.
Prince got those long arms. What a wingspan. List him at about 6'9".
Estill almost shot the 3, but it's Daniels. Nice feed by Marquise Estill.
Well, Daniels playing, and also Hayes, because they give him a lot of energy. Very aggressive players, and they're trying to get a little more tough. Tubby told me before the game, he said, we got to get some toughness.
Well, they're already Kentucky off to a better start than they were against Alabama. They started the game 0 for 8. They started the second half 0 for 10. And they had 3 dry spells of 4 minutes or more without any points. So already tonight their offense looks better as they lead by 2.
And that's been a problem for them in those games they lost. Scoring points, point production, shooting the basketball.
Prince trying to set a pick for Hawkins. And he walks with it.
Hawkins, a young guy that they like to play off of. They like to give him that perimeter shot. As a look at Tubby, one of the superstars in the coaching fraternity. 98, wins that national championship. Did a phenomenal job at Tulsa and Georgia as well.
Averaging almost 28 wins per season at Kentucky, but that's kind of in jeopardy now. Never since '59. 8 trips to the Final Four for Kentucky. They've never had a team lose more than 4 games among that grouping. And so that's not good if Kentucky fans are looking at the 13-5 record right now and saying, we're going back eventually. Might not happen. They're clawing for everything they have right now because they're at 500 in the conference. Kentucky lost 3 games at home already. There's Keith Bogans, normally a starter, and a little bit of a message maybe being sent by Tubby to his quote-unquote 2 stars, Tayshaun Prince and Keith Bogans.
Well, Bogans just got to play and have a little fun and attack the basket. Instead of thinking about shooting to 3, he's got to go back to his strength.
There's Nelson, who didn't start, but his first shot is true.
Well, you know we're going to see a lot of Nelson. Florida needs him. They can't win without Nelson. He's too vital to their perimeter game.
And an offensive foul on Hawkins.
Nelson has scored 20 or more in 4 of the last 5 games. Look at Orlando Tubby Smith.
So it's a 1-point Gator lead. We got the ball, and we're near the 16-minute mark, opening half.
Man-to-man defense by Kentucky.
Nelson again. This one goes to.
I tell you something, Coach, you going to give me some PT, Coach? Coach, you think I got some playing time tonight?
Three-pointer number 58 and 59 on the year, and another steal by Hamilton. Has to fight to get it back. Bonner, the outlet. Nelson may pull up again. No, he tried to dish to Haslam.
Trying to make the spectacular pass. Should have thrown the little simple bounce pass.
Just a little over 4 minutes in. It's the Gators by 4.
How are we going to win on Sunday?
Championship.
People say I'm all looks, no brains. Please. Oh, changez mon discours au musée, s'il vous plaît.
Oui.
But for really smart, check out this Palm handheld from CompUSA. It manages your calendar, gets email. Oh, here's one. The Fed needs me to lecture on our monetary system. Again?
CompUSA, where America buys technology. Buy select Palm handhelds at CompUSA and get a 16-meg expansion card free.
When reviewing the Lexus LS430, Automobile Magazine said, no car in this class has more inviting leather, a more comfortable ride, a superior stereo, or a more logical navigation system. Perhaps this is why, for the 2nd year in a row, Automobile Magazine has named the LS430 the best luxury car over $40,000. To its owners, it's the best luxury sedan in the world. The LS430 at your Lexus dealer.
Florida, the early lead, 8-4 over Kentucky here at the O-Dome as rivalry week continues here on Super Tuesday. Brad Nessler and Dick Vitale with you from O'Connell Center. Tough place to play. It's hot, it's rowdy, it's Billy, it's Tubby, and it means a lot this time because in the SEC East, here's 2 teams trying to catch Georgia right now.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's also tough because Florida usually puts a talented team on the floor as well with guys like Nelson and Haslam. But you're right. When you talk about the standings right now, I should take a look at Georgia. Jimmy Herrick, what a surprise, sitting there at 5-2. Florida 4-2 and Kentucky 3-3. If they lose their 4th game early, that's unbelievable.
Early in the game, a guy that didn't even start for Florida is Brett Nelson, and he made his presence felt in a hurry, Dick.
Yeah, didn't waste any time. He's coming off 5 games in the last 5. He's had 420 or more games, and he hits his first 2 long-range jump shots.
Bonner hit a shot just inside the line, so it's been long range for Florida to lead here early as they've gone 3 for 6 from the floor.
You know, Brad, you take a look at Kentucky's 5 losses, and there's one common denominator. As you look there at shooting percentages, in their 5 losses, they are 25 for 111 shooting the 3. That's 22.5%.
Well, Tayshaun Prince, for instance, in their wins, shoots about 39% from outside the arc. In their 5 losses, he shot 20% outside the arc. So they need that. And there's Prince. As we talk about him, he comes up with a steal.
Fitch back on the floor.
So's Bogans. Bogans did not start either.
Well, Fitch didn't start because he came late to a film session. He was 10 minutes late. Tubby Smith has discipline. He's in charge.
Whistle, and he stepped on the baseline.
See, I don't think it's asking too much for guys to be punctual, to be on time. I respect a guy like that. Tubby says, hey, we have a program. You got to do it the right way.
Tubby, his 5th season at Kentucky. There's Keith Bogans, one of the leading scorers last year. 26 times he led the club in scoring, but he's really been struggling, with the exception of the Notre Dame game, with his shot lately.
He had 29 on his floor last year against Florida.
Here's another guy who didn't even play in the last game for Florida, James White, the freshman, and he comes up with an air ball on his first attempt.
And James White was an academic regime. Didn't stay in a class. They were very upset about it. Billy Donovan sent him a message. They lost a tough win to Arkansas. Arkansas is a team that can go on and win that SEC in tournament time. He proved it 2 years ago.
David Lee, the freshman.
He's very versatile, excellent rebounder, very active player. He and Wright have big-time upscale talent.
Here's Prince with a 3 that goes.
That's good news. I'll tell you one thing, Brad. He's thinking shot tonight. He's playing a little bit more aggressively offensively.
10-7 Gators here in the opening 5.5 minutes. Double team, triple team on Haslam. That leaves Lee alone. And as he went up, he's fouled.
Marquise Estelle blocked the shot, but Lee attacked the basket. He can use either hand. He's about a St. Louis, very active player. Hyper dandy. There's a double up. They're going to find the open guy. He comes up with the loose ball, and he attacks the basket. There's the contact across the arm by Marquise.
You're talking about Lee, a guy who broke his wrist as a sophomore. He's a natural left-hander and taught himself to play as right-handed as he was on that last drive. And as you see, he goes to the free throw line to the left and got the roll. So sometimes injuries can make you a better player. Jules Kamara checks in for Kentucky. And Orion Green checks back in for the Gators.
Where has Kamara scored? But I did some research. 42 minutes, and he hasn't scored a point. They got to get some point. You know, people don't realize how much they really miss Jason Parker.
Right.
He gave him a physical presence down in that low post that was so special. He'll be there next year with Antoine Barber, a great junior college player.
Bogan's nice spin to the baseline. Missed the shot in close, though, and it's Haslam to clear it off for the Gators.
That's where he's effective now, utilizing his strength and his body on the inside, posting.
Nice feed, freshman to freshman, but Lee had it stuffed, and here comes Kentucky. Bogans all the way against Nelson. Off the glass, still can't get it to drop, but Prince will keep it alive as he's fouled by Haslam.
At least Bogans is attacking the basket. He's aggressive right now. He's taking the ball to the goal rather than standing on the perimeter trying to shoot threes. I'm going to watch here. Daniels coming over defensively. There's the rotation. There's the block.
The Bogans will inbound for Kentucky as they trail by 4.
Changing defenses right now by Florida. Go to the zone.
Kamara on top.
A lot of people are going to let Kentucky have to shoot that perimeter shot.
Good feed, Prince to Kamara.
He must have hurt us. He finally got on the board after 42 minutes.
That's right.
Jules says, hey, what do you mean? I could score. He looked so good against Duke. I mean, he looked like a star was coming out.
He had 5 block shots, 10 points, 11 boards in that one. Ronell Collis down on the low block to Lee. A nice kick out. Good ball movement. Leaves Green open. Got it.
Wide open. They love to shoot the 3. A little Billy ball. He learned it from Rick Pitino and the Bombinos down there at Kentucky.
It's their 136th three-pointer of the year.
What a momentum builder we've talked so often about what the three-point shot can do to a game.
Last night we saw Missouri stay in the first half against Kansas by virtue of the three-point shot, or it wouldn't have been close.
They knocked down 8 of those to stay on top, stay right there, 1 point down. And then the second half, we got an A-plus clinic from out of Kansas.
We did. Fitch had it blocked inside by Collis. Nelson, I was going to say jump stop. He didn't stop. He just kept right on going. Right. He turned it over.
You know, last year I thought the 2 best players in the SEC were Tayshaun Prince and certainly Nelson. We're going to take a look at the ball movement. Look at here. That's how you really get the extra shot. Look at the unselfishness. We saw that last night. To me, that's the key of Kansas. Making the extra pass, being unselfish, shot selection. Billy Donovan told me he watched the game last night. He said, wow. Yeah. He said, was I impressed with Kansas, the way they moved the ball. That's why they lead the nation in field goal percentage.
Tayshaun Prince, some blood on the side of his head, maybe behind his ear, and I think they've got it stopped.
I was talking to Jerry Tipton, a writer that covers them, and he told me that Tayshaun's been getting doubled up a lot, and therefore it's affected his scoring ability. I think when you're a great player, you have to learn to play with the double-ups. The great ones will be able to handle that. And he's got to be able to respond to that. They need this kid. Tayshaun's got to be just Tayshaun.
5-point Florida lead as Hayes is trying to get it inbounds to Fitch, stolen by Lee. And then a foul by Fitch. Lee was just relentless in his full-court pressure with those long arms.
And when you hit the right chord there, Brad, when you said long arms, those long arms create a nightmare for people. He plays the passing lane so well.
At the line for Florida.
This is fun. I mean, unbelievable. Last night we had that Fog Fanatics. Tonight, the Rowdy Reptiles. I mean, tomorrow you got Memphis and Louisville. I just want to get, you got two guys, the Armani specials are going to be on. Talking Calipari and Patino. I want their hand-me-downs,
We'll have a fashion show, if nothing else.
Yeah? Hey, tell them to do me a favor. Just give me their hand-me-downs. That's all I want.
Lee has missed 3 straight free throws.
That's been a problem for him.
Yes, it's been a problem for Florida in the loss to Arkansas. They probably would have won that game had they hit their free throw.
I think they had 42 attempts.
Nelson will run with White, and he lost the handle going up. And now Fitch is bumped by Colas.
Colas says, who, me? No doubt about it. Carl Hess standing right there. No doubt about the contact. I tell you, this conference, you got to lace them up. The scores are so tight, no matter who you play in the conference. Every game's a war.
Very few blowouts. Last weekend, of course, close games for those of you that maybe don't follow the SEC that closely. Kentucky lost to Alabama at home by 3. Georgia lost to Vanderbilt in Nashville by 2. And in overtime, it was 94-92 Arkansas, as Dick mentioned, over Florida. And so all the 3 top teams in the East all lost over the weekend, and you bet that makes them hungrier this week.
That kid Pargo could flat out shoot it down in Arkansas.
35.
He had 35.
SEC Player of the Week, as a matter of fact. Kamara. They work it around the perimeter with 14 on the shot clock. Kamara is going to take a baseline jumper.
You tell me how he can go 42 minutes and not score a point. It's amazing. He's got pretty good touch. He's agile. Very quick inside.
Thrown away again by Florida. Getting a little sloppy. Now on the break, it's Hayes. And a blocking foul on Lee.
They really like Hayes. They say he brings a certain toughness, a mentality that's so special. Got a lot of cats in the house tonight. They can put a team on the floor with Goose Givens and Pratt. Mike Pratt's here. The Skywalker's in the house.
Eddie Walker's
Skywalker.
Here.
I can play point guard with that group and have a chance to win.
So at the line, Chuck Hayes, a freshman out of Modesto, California. And he really has played hard. He had 6 points and 5 rebounds in the loss to Alabama over the weekend. And I'm sure that hustle and that toughness that Dick's talking about has given him more playing time. That's what Tubby Smith is looking for right now. Somebody that wants it bad.
You know, let's send a message out to Mr. Godfrey to relax. I read some of his quotes today. He said, hey, I can tell you right now, we can win all our games from here, and it's not a lock to get in the NCAA tournament. 17-3. If they don't get in the NCAA tournament, there should be an investigation.
Nelson, another 3. This one goes to.
I'll tell you, Mr. Nelson, it looks like he got a message from Billy Donovan not starting the game, and he's responded.
Nelson's 190th moves him past Teddy Dupay on the all-time 3-point list.
And just to think they could have had Teddy Dupay.
Kamara again. Didn't get this one to drop. Colas will clear it out. It's Green on the run. Florida with a 1-point lead on Kentucky with 11.5 to go in the half.
Kids love playing his style of play. Up and down the floor, run, press, shoot the basketball.
Bonner's been quiet so far. He's one of my favorite players, a hard worker. And he can score and rebound and set picks like he just did for Nelson. Give and go inside.
What a great 2-man game. A little screen, a little roll. You're right, Mr. Nessler. I love that youngster. Just like the kid we saw last night, Kirk Heinrich. They're not the same kind of player, but what point I'm making, they're third in terms of getting recognition and notoriety on their teams, but they are big-time players.
Florida has 7 assists already. They lead the conference in that category, as well as steals and scoring. Here's Kamara. He hit one earlier, and he got another one.
I'll tell you, he's got 3 buckets already. It seems like somebody got a message to him. Think offense.
That's the lead to 4.
Talking about third wheels, I mean, simply here, you think about Haslam on the inside, Nelson on the perimeter, and then Bonner. You talk about Kansas, they talk about Collison and Gooding.
You talk about a hot three-point shooter.
He is on fire. Nelson. Here's Mr. Nelson. It's trifecta time.
Biggest lead now, up to 7. Courtesy of those three-point shots. That's been the difference. And a whistle and a foul. It's going to be on Nelson.
Tubby and I were talking about the three-point shot before the game. We talked about the game with Indiana and Illinois. Indiana makes 17 threes. That's 51 points. How do you offset that? We're talking about you got to recruit guys that can shoot. There's Mr. Nelson. Just one pass. I mean, nobody really comes at him aggressively. Somebody better get a message. Hey, this kid can shoot the 3.
191 times he shot and been successful on the 3 in his 3 seasons in Gainesville.
But it looked like Bogans was going to get out of his little slump at the Notre Dame game when he scored 23. Spoke to Michael Bray today. He's happy he's getting Swanigan back in his lineup. They got to get a few wins right now. They got an outstanding freshman in Chris Thomas and some great recruits coming down there next year.
Bogans got them both. First 2 for Keith with just over 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Good game. And a great start for Nelson, not only as a scorer, but as a passer as well, with the inside feed to Bonner, and it's the Gators by 5.
Back in our Sports Center in-game studios, St. John's and Seton Hall getting late. Marcus Hatton had 27 points in the game. 29 would have been better. They're going to overtime. Back to Brad and Dick.
All right, a good one there, Steve, and a good one brewing here. 22-17 Florida by 5. They've led throughout. 10-10 remaining in the first half. It is a magical night in Gainesville, if you know what I mean. There's 2 of the Magic's top players, Tracy McGrady and Mike Miller, former star here.
The M&M gang, I'll tell you that. Look at Mr. Miller. I mean, he would be still eligible. Can you imagine that?
Donnell Harvey, him.
Oh,
Kwame Brown.
Kwame Brown. Are you serious? And there's the T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. How good is that young guy? I saw him at the Adidas basketball camp as a high school senior, just dominating. That was his moment in the sun. And from then, his stock just keeps going up, up, and up.
Hamilton going around a Bonner pick. Feed inside. And stolen away by Hawkins.
He telegraphed that pass. You could see that pass happening.
And turnover for turnover.
Tayshaun Prince trying to show some aggressiveness. Attacks the 3-second area. Makes a good look. They don't handle the basketball. From out of California, here's Tayshaun's versatility. Talk about versatile guys. I love Tayshaun's versatility. Michael Dunleavy down there at Duke. Jason Capono at UCLA.
But Tayshaun picks up his first foul with 9:35 remaining in the half. Brad Nessler and Dick Vitale and our ESPN crew at the O-Dome, O'Connell Center in Gainesville, Florida, which has become a hotbed for a hot ticket in college basketball, especially against Kentucky. Here's a walk on the baseline as Florida turns it over, back-to-back trips down court.
I'll tell you the one thing Kentucky's done really solid here defensively. They have kept the ball away from Udonis Haslem. He hasn't been able to be effective inside, and he's been on fire recently for Florida. Pressure defense. You have to really handle the ball well, spread the court, and make the open shot against Florida.
Hawkins can't get it to go. Way up for a rebound was Bogans, but he couldn't keep his hands on it. And Hamilton brings it down. Darius Halton in there with Bonner, Haslem, and Nelson. Hamilton in midair and had to make an adjustment, and they almost turned it over for the 3rd trip straight.
Well, poor job in terms of spacing. They don't have really good spacing, 15, 17 foot apart.
Haslem, nice pass underneath to Bonner.
I'll tell you, Bonner just knows how to play. Just like Heinrich knows how to play on a perimeter for Kansas, this kid knows how to play on the inside. Great basketball feel, great basketball instinct.
Kentucky, Dick, we talked about dry spells. They've gone over 2 minutes now without a field goal.
That's their problem, Brad, all year long, scoring. They just don't get enough offensive firepower.
Possession arrow. The hell ball is going to stay with Kentucky.
In the last 5 games, you look at Prince, he's 3 for 11, 7 for 12, 3 for 12. You're going to look at the high-low entry. Good release by Bonner. Knows how to convert inside. He was 2 for 8 when we had him against Auburn, and he was 5 for 15 when you had him against Alabama.
Number 11, Kentucky. Number 6, Florida. Those rankings would have been even higher had they both not lost over the weekend, but it makes this game probably even more vital because Kentucky doesn't want to fall under 500 in the conference, and Florida wants to stay with Georgia, the top team in the East in the SEC.
Kentucky has lost more than 4 SEC games. You ready for this, Brad? Only once in the last 12 years.
As I said before, to get to the Final Four since '59, it's never happened. The 8 teams that have made the Final Four have never had more than 4 losses.
You take a look right here. They were 12-4 last year, 12-4 the year after that. 11-5 was the year they lost more than 4 in the last 12 years. And it's just, I mean, they lose tonight. They got 4 already tucked away. And 2 of them at home when you took Georgia and Alabama.
Bogans gave up the 3. You can tell he's worried about his shot, but it hasn't been dropping, or he would have let that one go.
He's got to attack the basket. It's pretty tough. There he is attacking.
And he goes against a triple team, though, and Haslam stuffs it on it. Fitch underneath. He gets more rebounds and can do more underneath than most guards in the conference, but he can't score it. And now it's Haslam the other way. And a whistle and a foul. Nope, going to be a traveling violation on Haslam. So that's another turnover for Kentucky. With 7 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the first half. Gators with a 7-point lead over Kentucky.
Cell phones.
Mardi Gras kind of feel here at the O-Dome. 24-17, some of the rowdy reptiles here on Rivalry Week that'll continue Thursday. In the Big Ten, Purdue will take out number 25 Indiana at 7 o'clock on ESPN. On ESPN2 at 7, 2 of the top-ranked teams in the ACC. Maryland and Virginia will get together. Then at 9, back on ESPN, Dick will see this one. Number 1 Duke hosting North Carolina in one of the best rivalries in all of college basketball. It's all part of Rivalry Week on ESPN. And there's the ACC standings going into the aforementioned games.
Well, you know, Virginia got a tough date now. They got Maryland down there. They lose that game. They finished the first 8 games 4-4. And you're talking about a team in the top 10 in America. They got to protect their turf down there in Charlottesville against a really good Maryland team.
And they got Missouri this weekend, right?
Yes, sir.
Bogans trying to pull up jumper over Haslam, and Haslam's been in his face the entire game, but Prince on the cleanup.
Tayshaun Prince hanging around at the right place. He's got that great size, those long arms.
Haslam down low, had it stripped by Bogans. Bonner trying to leave it on the baseline.
He's got Prince.
Halton, and now it's Bogans on the drive.
See, that's where he's at his best, attacking the basket. He did that so well his freshman year.
And a traveling violation on Florida.
And that's what Keith Bogans has to do a lot more. Kentucky fans would love to see him get aggressive and attack the basket. There's Tayshaun giving it up to his buddy. He could have given it back, but he didn't have to. He finished the play. From out of DeMatha High School, Morgan Wooten fame, played with Joseph Forte. Oh, can North Carolina use Mr. Forte?
3-point game right now. That was the 9th Florida turnover. And when they come out on the turnover ratio ahead of their opponents, they're 12-1 this year. But right now, they've got 5 more than Kentucky has.
As Bonner matched up now, played against Tayshaun. A little switch defensively. Hamilton now on Tayshaun Prince. Hamilton, a tough defensive stopper.
Hawkins, the kick out to Prince for the tie. And airballed it off the backside.
Well, that's good defense by Hamilton. He really came out and challenged Prince.
Nelson trying to drive on Bogans, leaves it for Bonner, and he had it stripped by Prince. Nice job by Prince defensively. Double-figure turnovers now for the Gators. Give and go, nice pass by Kamara.
Well, the simplest play in basketball. I give it to the wing, I cut without the ball. Something good happens for all you young kids out there. Learn to move without that basketball.
6 straight points now for Kentucky, and they've cut the lead down to 1.
They know their program has really arrived here at Florida. Everybody's upset they lost 2 games in a row.
And still, ties for the best start that they've ever had at 15-3.
Amazing. They had a 14-game win streak. Billy Donovan said, I know we've arrived. Jeremy Foley told me the same thing. He said people are all upset. They want to know what's happening.
Hawkins through traffic. Leaves Fitch by himself, but he missed the 3. Bogans and Bonner go at it to try to get up the loose ball. And it'll be Kentucky basketball.
Substitutions for Kentucky, number 14.
Gonna watch the simplest play in the game. Freeze it right there. Freeze it. See now as the defense trips, there's gonna be an opening right down the lane. He's gonna find the open guy, a little simple give, and you go. What a breakdown by Nelson. He never saw a ball, you man. You got to see both. Talked to a writer today, called me Chip Alexander down in Raleigh. He's doing a whole series on the backdoor cut and movement without the ball.
Daniels' baseline jumper won't go. Fitch keeps it alive. Hawkins inside to Prince. Lee blocks the shot, and Haslam clears it off.
They're going to love Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee is going to be a star here in Gainesville.
And a career-high 11 rebounds in the loss to Arkansas. He's got 2 block shots here in the early going already.
I'll tell you who's really underrated, Justin Hamilton. There's a certain presence he possesses.
Here he is with a push pass down to White.
Anticipates so well from out of Sarasota, Florida. I got to take care of my guys from Sarasota.
Here's a look at David Lee with a block shot on Prince, and that is perfect.
Look at Lee up there, the diaper dandy. He says, I know you're a Rolls-Royce superstar.
Whoa, Nelson. That was 30 feet away.
That was an area code Jay from downtown. He shot that from Ocala, from George Steinbrenner's horse form.
5 minutes and a half. Florida by 3. Hawkins finds Hayes alone. Kentucky again struggling with their outside shooting.
That has been a dilemma all year long. That drives coaches bananas. That's why Kansas has such a great shot to win a national title. They got guys on the perimeter that can make shots. Look at his shot. Are you serious? What range is he trying to show the NBA people there? That was Brick City, USA.
Well, he had been nearly perfect from three-point range, but that was a whole different range. Miller's still laughing about that.
He's still laughing. He said, that's my range. He's not supposed to be shooting out there.
Lee trying to lob it in, and the pass was too lazy, and Hayes knocked it away. 3-on-1 Kentucky. And they still can't connect.
He's doing a good job inside, deflecting a lot of passes going into Haslam.
Nelson through traffic, now waiting for some help. Finds it behind him. Hamilton.
I like Justin Hamilton. He had a big game against Tennessee when he scored 22. He had a big game against Temple to start the season with 17. And he guards people. He's a defensive player. He missed 2 big free throws, though, with 10 seconds left in the game against Arkansas.
He played his butt off, though, for a guy that had missed 2 games with a separated shoulder. I'll say that for him.
And he had knee surgery last year.
After the Georgia game, missed the remainder of the year. Here's the ball I got to play on. No, I don't. Nelson will take it from us. And he had it blocked by Hayes.
I'll tell you, Hayes is a warrior. He's a tenacious competitor. The Kentucky fans who have a passion for the game are going to love Mr. Hayes' effort.
Brett Nelson from right in front of us looked like he had a deuce, but nice hustle by Hayes. Keeps it at 29-23.
When Mom got this great new job. I heard her talking to Dad about doing the right thing with her retirement money. Something about rollover, which gave me this great idea. Come on, BB. Come on. Roll over. Roll over. You're just gonna turn your body this way. I hope her rollover was easier. It must be.
No-load mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
Steve Levy back in our SportsCenter in-game studios. Boston College down at Miami, down 2, late. Troy Bell from 3, got it. They hit their free throws down the stretch, and the Eagles a winner. We're still waiting to decide a winner in St. John's Seton Hall. They're playing a little overtime right now over on ESPN2. Back to Brad and Dick.
All right, Steve, thank you. Florida by 6 in this one in the SEC. And, Dick, I was just bragging up Perry Clark's Miami team about 10 minutes ago with a film crew out here, and they turn around and lose one at home. But it just shows you that in college basketball right now, it's anybody and anybody that can beat you.
Oh, it's so wacky. I tell you, I think a team that stands out along with Duke that I've seen is certainly Kansas. Kansas, to me, is just so impressive. I mean, we caught them on a day where they looked awesome last night. They graded out in every area an A+. And there's so many teams that have a shot. Cincinnati's got to be awesome.
Right.
See, defensively, I'll tell you this, there aren't many people that guard people like Cincinnati.
Cincinnati putting a hurting on the last time we saw a score against East Carolina tonight as well. In Conference USA, that's where I'll be tomorrow night. Louisville and Memphis. And Dick's going to the ACC for a couple of days. This next 3 weeks start separating the cream from the rest of the barrel, I guess. Haslam inside, missed in close. I'm not sure there's a whole bunch of cream. I think, as you said, it's Duke and Kansas and Maryland and I don't know who else, but everybody else can get beat, I think.
I think there's about 8 teams that can win 6 games in a row and win an NCAA championship. A lot of teams can go to win the Sweet 16, but to get and win 6 in a row, I only think there are about 8 clubs that can do that.
Hayes tried the left hand over Haslam. That didn't work. Hamilton the outlet to Nelson. Got his man to run by. Missed the jumper. Got Bogans in the air. Kept alive, though, by Green. Trying to go inside to Haslam. Loose ball again. And it's Bogans. Nice leave on the baseline at Daniel.
That's a great pass right there. Very unselfish Keith Bogans. Daniel's got a little ankle injury, it looks like there. He's limping. Looking at the bench.
Daniels played very hard in the Alabama game. In fact, he's been one of their top rebounders the past couple of games.
See, that's what Daniels and Hayes bring to the lineup. They don't bring a lot of scoring, but they bring toughness and energy. Very active, and that's how you win.
Hamilton out to Green, and now they reset 10 on the shot clock. Nelson trying to go inside.
But they're having a tough time inside getting the ball. Hayes doing a great job defensively on Haslam.
Orion Green tried to leave it for Lee on the baseline. Swatted out of there. It's another Florida turnover. Gators right now are sloppy handling the ball.
They're going to have to find a way to get the ball inside to Udonis Haslam. He's too important in their offensive set because if he scores inside, he spreads the court.
Keith Bogans, who didn't start tonight, has 4 points, but more importantly, he's been aggressive. And watch this pass down to the baseline to Daniel.
Yeah, what he's doing really is attacking the basket. Pulled up, under control, got the ball to the open man.
A little over 2 minutes left in the first half, and Florida leads Kentucky by 4, 29-25, and a key matchup in the SEC East. Coming in, Kentucky 3-3 in that side of the Southeastern Conference. And Florida 4-2 in the division. Georgia will be playing tomorrow night. They're on top in the East at 5-2.
Tubby Smith's coached 8 straight NCAA tournaments. Lute Olson has the most, 17 in a row. John Chaney 12, Roy Williams 12, Bob Huggins 10, Tubby 8, along with Gary Williams and Kelvin Sampson. Think of that Kentucky program. National championships in 48, 49, 51, 58, 78, 96, and 98. They fly those banners so proudly down at Rupp.
7 of them. One of the stars of that 78 team, Jack Gibbons, is here. Talked to the Goose before the game. He was sitting behind us.
He had 41, didn't he, in the championship game against Duke? Unbelievable show he put on. Goose was golden. Goose was golden.
Still looks like he could play a little bit. 29-27. Florida here. We're under 2 minutes. Fast-paced first half. Not a lot of free throws, not a lot of stops in the action. White not playing well so far in this first half. Airballed a 3.
I'll tell you, perimeter shooting really lacking. You got to find guys that can make shots from the perimeter. They're recruiting today. Chase guys that can shoot the rock.
Prince trying to drive. Bonner clears off that miss. Kentucky had another opportunity to tie it up and couldn't.
Bonner certainly could shoot. He had 31 against South Florida, 28 against Vanderbilt, 18 and 10 against Tennessee.
We saw that South Florida game. That was his career high.
That's why South Florida was 9-0. Played him tough for a half. Psychologically, I think that game took a lot out of South Florida.
Here's Bonner, the guy we were just talking about, missing a 3. Haslam trying to find a handle underneath. Everybody goes to the deck. Possession arrow. It'll be Florida's ball. Just under a minute left in the first half, and coming up at halftime. Sports Center in game. It's the Mass Mutual Financial Group halftime report. Steve will be along as I want to tip my cap to the Nevada Gaming Commission out there as Mike Tyson's appeal to box and get a license out there was denied.
Oh, good.
Marty Schottenheimer's the new coach of the San Diego Chargers. The Buckeyes roll big in the first game of our twin bill tonight on Super Tuesday. Steve will have all that info for you coming up in about a minute.
Well, I'm happy to hear that on a Golden Greenberg show on Monday at Stock Down, Mr. Tyson. I didn't know that. You told me. I got good news now. That guy shouldn't be allowed to fight. Are you kidding me? Come on, Steve Levy. If I only had Steve's looks and had his hair, man, I'd be a TV star.
I thought you were going to say if you had Tyson's looks.
Oh, no.
Those.
Oh, God. Unbelievable.
2-point game. Kentucky looking to tie again.
Barr gave some good offense when he came in the game, something they have not gotten out of him. As that matchup, Bonner and Prince.
15 on the shot clock, 33 in the half. Hawkins double teamed by Hamilton and Haslam. Now they're going to have to think about a shot. Kamara Over to Fitch. Driving against Nelson. Trying to leave it for Kamara. Stolen by Hamilton. The outlet to White on the right.
He's a high riser, Mr. Levy. He's a dipsy-doo, dunkaroo guy. Slam jam man. James Jammin White.
Kamara. Got to get it to somebody. Hawkins. 3 on the clock. Here's Prince for 3. Got it at the buzzer. Big shot for Tayshaun Prince.
That's a big one, and he likes it, baby. He likes it. That's a momentum builder as you go to the locker room.
Tell you what, that was an exciting 30 seconds as it was up and down the court. White on the reverse flush, and then Tayshaun Prince worked very hard to not only get that ball down and get it in some of his teammates' hands, but more importantly, maybe, to get open down on that baseline.
Yeah, he's really played a solid first half. Came out, was aggressive. There he is, spotting up, shooting the 3. The 3 has not been there for him recently. I'll tell you, look at that enthusiasm. Look at that energy.
Gators leading by 1. 31-30 our halftime score. The Mass Mutual Financial Group halftime report and Sports Center in game. Here's Steve Lee.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by 10-10-220. Dial it and all calls up to 20 minutes or only 99 cents.
Kentucky finished that first half with a 7-2 run in the final 4 minutes. That helped their cause. They're down by 1 on the road in front of this group. And Dick Vitale, Brad Nessler along with you from the O-Dome. First half, Florida, had they not hit their 3-point shots, they'd be in a hole right now. Neither team's playing that well.
They really would be in a hole, but you know what's keeping Kentucky right there, knocking on the door? Tenacious defense, and that's been a staple all year. They haven't been doing it with offensive productivity. They do it with defense, and it keeps them in the game. The tempo of the game right now favors Kentucky.
It does.
It favors Kentucky, the tempo.
Florida would rather score about 95 a game, but it's not going to happen the way this one's gone. But Tayshaun Prince got himself open as you saw the light go off. He hit it at the buzzer. There was his reaction. He led the way for Kentucky with 10 points, including 2 3-pointers. That one came just as the buzzer was sounding to end the first half. But the 3-point shooting of Brett Nelson is the reason that Florida has the lead. He's 4 for 6 from 3-point range.
And there's an example again of Kentucky's defense with the 8 steals. They forced 12 turnovers, led to 12 points, and the defensive job. You're not going to find his name in a box score with a lot of points, but Hayes did a fantastic job denying the ball inside to Udonis Haslem, the best post player in the SEC.
Bogans to open the second half puts Kentucky in front for the first time since it was 4-2.
And what a relief. You could just see the unbelievable joy in Bogan's face when he made that shot.
33-31.
They have Esto playing against Haslem.
Bonner doubled down low. Nelson thought he had a look, goes right back into Bonner. They play catch until Nelson can get loose for the 3, and he missed it. But the follow is good by Orion Green.
Orion Green's got great hops. He's a kid that can play out on the perimeter. He can play the wing. Very active athlete.
Oh, and down hard is Marquise Esto. Man, he hit the deck right in front of us, and the whole building moved.
I'll tell you, that would be a tough loss for Kentucky because they've already lost Stone, who transferred. They lost Jason Parker at the beginning of the season. Their inside game being depleted. He looks like he'll be okay. Now, what a great kid he is, too. Lost his dad on January 5th. Gave up a scholarship to pay his way, really, to make
the scholarship limit for Kentucky down to 13. So
made one available for Stone.
Ooh, that was friendly fire. He just got run over by Hawkins and went down in an odd fashion, but he's up. And I'll give the Florida fans credit. They will rip your ears off.
There's Donna right there. And Ashley Judd. Oh, there's Ashley Judd. I got a kiss from her today. What a day I had. I met my little granddaughter. You saw her at the hotel, Sydney Nicole.
At least I got a kiss from Sydney Nicole.
Yeah, and I got one from Ashley Judd, and I really did. Nobody believes me. I'm telling you, Donna, I got one. Time to kill. Double jeopardy.
I told you those.
Yeah, you did.
Watch your movies, and you're the one that gets the kiss.
Yeah, he did. He told me all about those movies.
Loose ball. Bonner picks it up from Prince. 10th Kentucky turnover of the ball game.
She gave me a kiss because she knows I'm so ugly. I'm harmless.
Here's Bonner wide open. Short on the 3. He's not been his normal self tonight offensively.
And I'll tell you, the defense of Kentucky is sort of fighting this crowd. This crowd is not as alive as we've seen when they go on one of their patented runs.
Bogans another 3. Short this time. And kept alive by Cliff Hawkins. There's Bogans. He's got another open look. He missed 2 in a row.
Well, see, he's trying to play now exclusively on the perimeter, and again, that's not his game. That's his game. Attack the basket.
They move it around. They'll get a 3rd try. Hawkins lays it in.
Hawkins shows moments you see greatness like we saw in that game against Duke. You see his penetration and his quickness, but he's going to have to work all year long on making that perimeter shot, so people have to respect his game.
That's his first basket of the ball game. Hawkins, and it puts Kentucky again up by a deuce.
Haslam, they got to get him some touches. They will not win this game tonight, Florida, unless Haslam starts getting involved offensively.
He hooks it out to Bonner. Bonner can't connect inside, and Kentucky comes back. Bogans almost walked with it. And now a blocking foul. Going to be on Green.
That's smart basketball. A good basketball IQ there by Bogans. He's starting to think about attacking the basket, and that's what his strength is.
Cliff Hawkins is the guy that's put Kentucky in front by 2 with this move.
Yeah, he gets into the 3-second area, pulls up under control, gets the conversion. We saw a bunch of kids last night that understand their roles. You see Miles out there for Kansas, knows he's got to distribute the ball. Collison down inside, good at inside, outside.
Boschee and Heinrich shooting threes.
Love them.
Everybody did their job last night.
I really love that team.
There's good ball movement by Kentucky, but it's all around the perimeter.
They're zoning right now, Florida.
Bogans looking for a pick from Kamara. Got it. He'll try another 3, and he still can't find it.
That's not his game, Brad. That's not his game. That's his game.
He didn't get that one either. Hawkins again on the cleanup duty.
He's got to attack the basket with that body, Bogans.
Bogans has missed about 5 shots in the last 2 trips down court, but it's been Hawkins that's found a little seam inside to give Kentucky its biggest advantage of the ball game. 37-33, 3 minutes into half number 2. By this many, up 4 with 17 to play. Ashley Judd, one of the big-time Kentucky fans in the entire world, tries to get as many games as possible with Mr. Vitale before the game.
Hey, let's get her running. Well, I want to give her a kiss. Eat your heart out, guys. Eat your heart out.
Careful, Dick. Careful.
She's a married woman now.
Look at that rock she had. Wow.
She's a married woman now. A
Dario
race car
Franchetti.
driver's wife.
Yeah, Dario Franchetti. Steve Levy's eating his heart out in the studio. I know he is. I know he is eating his heart out there.
Steve's probably eating popcorn. He's got time for that right now. We have action going with 16:53 to play. On the inside, Kamara trying to block Haslam and picks up the foul.
They do a great job, Kentucky, surrounding Haslam. They really are attacking him whenever he touches the ball down in the low post. They do a great job surrounding him. Look at this right here. Freeze it right there. Look at this here. Are you kidding? Now he's going to wheel to this side, though, with a great drop step on Kamara. There he is, wheeling to the inside. He has got to step his game up and become aggressive offensively for them to win.
Udonis leads the SEC in double-doubles with 9 of them. And he's in the top 10 in a lot of categories. 6th in block shots, 8th in scoring, 1st in rebounding, 2nd in field goal percentage. And he hits his first 2 free throws of the night, gives him 4, and the Gators back to within 2. Prince going up was fouled.
You know, you mentioned Haslam in all those categories. He had 20 and 16 against LSU, 18 and 15 against Georgia, 3 straight double-double games, 19-13 in the loss to Arkansas. He is so key to this team because when he draws attention and he's effective inside, all the wing people become so much better.
His 23 double-doubles are in his career, which continues to move him up the all-time list as well.
What a job this guy has done. You talk about a guy that can shoot the rock. 1987 for Providence and the Flyers. And Rick Pitino took him to the Final Four.
It's got the second at 2, and Kentucky back in front by 3. Here's Haslam. Kamara doing a nice job on him. Kamara gives away a lot of weight in that battle, but he is taller than Udonis.
And he's very quick, and he gets a lot of help from up on top when Prince attacks him.
Foul is going to be on Cliff Hawkins. That's his 2nd. Kentucky leading on the road in rivalry week here at O'Connell Center in Gainesville, Florida, where Florida has won the last 3 from Kentucky on their home floor and trying to hold home serve to go to 5-2, which would for the time being, tie them with Georgia atop the East of the SEC. And Kentucky trying to avoid going under 500 in conference play. White spins inside, leaves it in low, and a foul on Kamara.
I'll tell you,
Haslam went up.
You can't teach that kind of quickness, explosiveness on that baseline. What a first step by James White. He just attacked the basket, drew the people to. Look at that spin. Look at that really whirl. The 180, the dump down. He hesitated a little bit right there, Haslam.
So Udonis goes back to the line. Third team All-American last year.
Starting to go to him a little bit more, starting to get the ball inside.
That last time out they had, Billy Donovan, we're told, stressed the point to get it to number 50, as Dick's been saying since the second half started. And with that, at least he's gotten to the free throw line by packing it down low against Kamara and company. And he's shooting free throws well so far. 4 for 4.
I tell you, Billy Donovan's brought so much excitement here in basketball. Went to the final game in 2000, lost to Tom Izzo at Michigan State. They were great against Michigan State here when you and I were here earlier this year. We've been so many places, I don't know where we are anymore.
I don't either.
I don't know where we are. We don't want to tell them a story about what triple last night.
I don't think so. Prince loads it up from three-point land.
If they want to read it, just go to my website. I wrote about it. It was unbelievable. That's all I can say. But don't feel sorry for us. We're very lucky.
That was a different story. One for the ages, that's for sure. 4-point. Kentucky lead again with that three-pointer. Here's a lob underneath to Haslam. Lee got it to him. They move it around, and Hamilton has a three to look at. Came up short, but White keeps it alive.
White very active. He's got great legs, a great bounce.
Nelson needed some help, got rid of it. Oh, that's a dangerous pass. Fitch knocks it out of bounds.
Well, you know, you throw the ball over the top of defenses, could be effective, but not when you telegraph it.
15-21 remaining in the ball game. And Kentucky continues to hold on to the lead, courtesy of Tayshaun Prince, last year's SEC Player of the Year, knocking down the triple. And the Stars are out tonight, and Kentucky leads by 4.
There's Ashley and Donna. They like it. Donna Smith.
Kentucky trying to pull an upset on the road here in Gainesville. Rivalry week continues, and it will do so throughout the week. Thursday, reminder, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Purdue and Indiana get together. On ESPN2 at 7, Maryland and Virginia will tangle, number 3 against number 5, and then Duke and Carolina back on ESPN 9 o'clock. It's all Thursday night, part of Rivalry Week on ESPN.
You know, everybody's talking blowout city. All I can remember in '95 when North Carolina was number 2 in America with Stackhouse and Wallace, and Duke was 1-7. It went to double overtime before North Carolina could leave with the W. I'm not saying right now on paper, obviously it looks like a blowout, but you know, Brad, when you've been around the game, that's why we have upset city and shock city when guys do things. Sometimes they're just unbelievable. What if Lang gets Boozer in foul trouble? What if a guy like Morrison knocks down 5 threes? What if Capel gets on fire? Who knows? You got to play the game.
Chuck Hayes picks up the foul, bumping Haslam on the inside. That's going to be his first. And Florida will get a fresh clock and inbound on the baseline with 15-13 to go, and they trail Kentucky.
Kentucky's done a great job controlling the transition game of Florida and also handling their pressure. Now really turning it over where Florida's getting layups off the steal. They make it a half-court game. Kentucky's got a great shot to win the game.
White outside, in and out on the 3. And Hawkins will clear it off.
Tempo so important. Control tempo.
Bogan's trying to work against the freshman. Leaves it inside for Prince.
And there's Bogan's attacking inside. The 1-2 tandem. The tandem that was supposed to be so special delivers.
All the way down. Nice drive by Justin Hamilton. His first field goal of this half.
I think Ham is too unselfish. I think he's one of those kids that doesn't think enough about offense. He has offensive ability.
Prince got up in the air and had to leave it on the baseline and did so nicely to Hayes, and he's fouled by Lee.
4 fouls on number 24, David Lee, his second.
See, take a look right now. This is Keith Bogan's game, Brad. That's what I'm talking about. Attack the basket, draw people. He drives, draws, dishes it to his buddy, and Prince converts. That 1-2 punch has to be prolific for them to have a chance this year to cut the nets down in Atlanta.
Well, Riley Donovan right now is ready to send in 5 new Gators.
He's pulling a Mike Krzyzewski. He did the same thing against Kentucky. He said, you know what? I'm going to do that. Maybe it'll work for me. It worked for Mike Krzyzewski, but he had a guy at the end of the game. He said, Jason,
take over the game.
Take over, Jason.
He actually sent 4 guys in, not 5, so Bonner stays in there. But the group that joins him is Green, Nelson, Halton, and Colas.
It's nice to have a guy like Jason, like Phil Jackson had a guy by the name of Michael the Magnificent. When the game was late, he just simply, with a minute or so to go, need the last shot. He said, hey, you guys, you see what he makes? Give him the ball, get out of his way, and let him do his thing.
The lead is 6 now for Kentucky. Let's see if Florida's new group can come up with some offense. They are, by the way, 0 for 4 this half from outside the arc after living by the three-pointer in the first half.
Really challenging Bonner now, giving Bonner good looks from the perimeter.
Green all the way, swatted out of there by Prince.
There's his versatility again. See those long arms of Tayshaun Prince.
Caruth leaves to Hawkins, now inside to Hayes, and Kentucky on a roll right now.
Nice play by Hayes, moving without the basketball.
Donovan might want to think about a timeout. It's an 8-point lead. Right now he's working the officials, and he'll let them play.
Well, really, the only guy that's got scoring ability that's on the floor is Bonner.
Hayes hooked somebody down on the baseline, and he's called for the foul.
Last time Florida lost 3 games in a row was back in 97-98. There's the block shot by Tayshaun Prince with that wingspan. He's like a 747, man.
Nelson on a runner off the glass is too strong, trying to fight for his own rebound, and he fouls Hayes.
They have no rhythm right now at all offensively. Right now, Kentucky in command, doing a phenomenal job defensively.
Udonis Haslem set to check back in. And let's see who's going to go out. Colas will go back out. So the lead remains 8, and Kentucky can add to it. Florida's going to try some full-court heat right now. But it's been all Wildcats here in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Estel checks back in for the Cats.
It's been very rare to lose 2 games in a row for Florida. Last year they did it 1 time, losing to Georgia and Vanderbilt. This year, Georgia and Arkansas.
Well, they almost came up with a turnover. Hawkins will get it across the timeline.
Caruth can shoot it.
He's not shy. Missed a 3. Haslem will clear off the glass. Out to Green on the run. Now Nelson. Green's wide open. Triple goes.
That's big. That gets the crowd back in it. Now it gets you up into your press. And this is where they get aggressive. They're going to get the Rowdy Reptiles into the game.
Caruth, 3-on-2 Kentucky. Daniels trying to scoop it on the baseline. Ran out of real estate. Hit the bottom of the backboard. It's out of bounds to Florida.
Tubby Smith very upset with that possession. There's a look by Nelson. Good recognition. You read, you recognize, you react, and then you knock it down for a big triple. Look at Tubby. Look at the competitiveness. Look at his fierce competitor.
13 to play. His team is up 5, but Florida's got the ball. And looking to add
Haslem,
to what they did the last trip down.
Got to go to the big double team. Oh, yes, he's found. Look at him jumping with joy. Oh, I think Haslem has arrived. Haslem has arrived, the dominator.
Ball almost stolen in the backcourt. Now it's Hawkins, and it's blocked by Haslem. Comes loose to Caruth.
The tempo's starting now to go the way of Florida. I talk about tempo. I'm not talking about a dance. I'm talking about speed, quickness, about a game. Yes, sir. Look at those Rowdy Reptiles. Haslem giving him some juice right now. He's giving him some energy. There's the ball inside. You got to go to the big fella. You go to your big horse on the interior. There's the score. And now look at the reaction. He wants to do a little dance, showing his agility. Look at the dancer. Look at him do his thing.
Udonis with 8 points, 6 of them this half, has cut the Wildcat lead to 3.
Maybe taking him out was really a little sign to motivate him.
Wednesday night hockey presented by Nextel on ESPN at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. The Washington Capitals continuing their push for a playoff berth in the Eastern Conference. They'll take on the St. Louis Blues. For more info, log on to ESPN.com.
I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of opportunities inside for Haslem the rest of this game as Tayshaun goes to that sideline. Mr. Kamara on there as well.
Let's see if Kentucky can quiet the crowd as Florida has worked its way back in it after being down by 8.
Well, Bogan's got to step up and be the leader out there with Prince on that sideline. He's the veteran.
Hawkins. Rebound. Haslam had it and lost it to Estel. Now Caruth will try a three that's blocked from behind by Hawk. Ball out, Florida.
They will allow Hawkins to shoot the ball from deep. They will give him that opportunity and that chance. He's going to have to earn the respect and make those for them to really, really challenge him.
What he wasn't cognizant of was Halton being at his backside, and he came over the top to knock it away.
Yeah, Caruth didn't see him coming. He had no vision of him coming from the rear. Haslam again. Dump it inside. Go to the big fella.
And to cut it to 1. Bonner keeps it alive. He does cut it to 1.
You don't have to be a great jumper. You just got to be active. Oh, the Gators have arrived. The Gators have arrived. Billy Donovan's Gators. They feel it now, baby. The Cats got to lace them up, and Tubby knows his kids have to lace them up for the last 11:55. SEC basketball.
Foul is on Daniels as Bonner got it on the baseline and went right back up with it. And you see number 14 swat at it. Chance for a three-point play by Bonner. He's one of the best free throw shooters in the conference. And we are tied for only the 3rd time tonight. We were tied at 2. We were tied at 33. We're now tied at 47 with 11:55 to go.
National G. Sports Center in-game studios. You know, it's rivalry week everywhere. South Florida over Central Florida. But most significance, DeMarco Johnson of Charlotte is out. Altrin Jackson is in. Conference USA's all-time leading scorer. And he better look out for his current teammate, B.B. Walden. Back to Brad and Dick, guys.
All right, Steve, here we're tied up. Rivalry week in the SEC. Number 6 Florida's battled their way back in to a tie. They were down 47-39. They've scored 8 straight points to tie it at 47.
Well, if you're a fan and you love basketball and you want competitiveness, that's where you need a little run from our standpoint to get a little excitement going in this place. And right now we got it. We got it where you want, man, from a fan standpoint. 11:55, and it's all tied, and 2 quality teams going head-to-head. Brings out the best.
Hawkins trying to feed Hayes. Estel got a timeout call as he was flying on a bounce.
Well, Hayes right there had a chance, had an opportunity. Look at the shirt of Tubby Smith. Does he have a passion? Does he love what he's doing? I'll tell you one thing. You take a look right here. Wow, is this guy? Look at that. Look at that. He needs a new shirt. He needs a, what if he can afford one? If he can afford one, they're paying him down to Kentucky. What a great place, though, for basketball down there at Rupp Arena, and all those fans really love their Cats.
And in here, as I said earlier, it's hot and muggy, and it's Billy and Tubby.
Billy and Tubby, they both were on that same staff with Rick Pitino.
Coming up when we're finished, Carl Ravitch and Rich Eisen with Sports Center, Super Bowl Media Day. Everybody talking the talk on the Tuesday before the big game. Mike Tyson's going to have to find somewhere else to fight, somebody else to bite. NBA All-Star snubs and more with Carl and Rich in about 12 minutes. Bogan's off the inbound. Got the 3.
You know, he shoots the 3 really well, but he squares his body. He doesn't rush the shot. He gets the good look at the goal.
So immediately after being tied up, they go right back in front by 3, courtesy of the long ball by Bogans. Hamilton. Alton leaves it for Bonner. He thought about trying to tie it, and now on the baseline, they do try it, and Green can't get it.
Well, Bonner did a great job with that little fake and reversal of the basketball to get the open shot. A nice screen by Hayes.
Trying to throw it over to Tayshaun Prince, and they throw it out of bounds.
Had the right idea, is trying to get that pass to the weak side.
Number 10, Brent Nelson.
This guy working his heart out. Look at Bogans inside, setting a screen. Laying that big screen down inside. And comes off. Great execution.
That's how they lead right now by Bogans 3, 50-47. We approach the halfway mark of the second half. Inside pass. Nice feed by Bonner, and Haslam's fouled by Estel.
You know, Bonner's really an excellent passer. A lot of people don't give the kid enough credit for the way he passes the rock. He's got good ability to shoot the perimeter shot, but he also can pass the basketball. He has that good bounce pass, good feed.
That's a third foul on Estel. And so Udonis Haslem, who's been perfect at the free throw line, will step up to try to close this gap down to a single point. 10:42 remaining in the ball game. Brad Nessler, Vic Vitale, our ESPN crew in Gainesville. A key battle in the SEC, especially in the Eastern Division of the SEC. Because right now Georgia is a game up on Florida, and Kentucky doesn't want to fall a game under the 500 mark in their side of the standings. And so this game on rivalry week is vital for both clubs. And Haslam got them both. 6 straight this half for Udonis from the stripe.
Well, they're starting to get him some touches inside, and good things happen when the big fella touches the rock. There's Green up on top, chasing defensively. He's like a scramble guy.
Nice lead by Bogans in the paint. They come all the way back around the perimeter. Hawkins inside to Hayes. Bonner got a piece of it. Hayes will try a second time. Now the follow by Kamara.
I'll tell you, Kamara's been very active offensively tonight for a guy for 42 minutes who didn't score. That's his 8th point already.
Hamilton.
Haslam, they had him right there, and he missed him.
Waited too long, and now he's fouled from behind by Kamara.
Yeah, you got to find the right time when the guy is open and he's got that big body inside. You got to bring the rock to him.
Kamara's got 3 fouls, and so does Estel now.
There's Kamara trying to beat him with quickness, trying to step over the top. See, that's really hurts. Now they lose Marvin Stone, who transfers to Louisville. Hey, I wouldn't be shocked if Brandon Bender, who left Louisville, he ends up at Kentucky. So you can have a trade in basketball. Stone for Bender. Bender's got 3 years eligibility left.
There's so much love between the two schools, too. That's a first free throw. Haslam's missed, but Florida keeps it alive with a rebound. And Kamara might have picked up another foul, and that's 4.
That's 4. He's going to bring Estel back in the game.
And Estel's got 3. So Tubby's going, running out of big guys.
Well, he lost Jason Parker. We talked about that, to an ACL injury before the season, and he would have been their presence in that low post.
Parker will have 3 years left when he comes back from that right knee operation that was injured on Midnight Madness even before the season began, before the practice began. Kamara goes out. Haslam goes back to the stripe.
Talking to Brooks Downing before the game, as you look at Dave Hobbs, used to be the head coach at Alabama and assistant to Tubby. They worked together, all those guys, Sutton and Hobbs and Tubby. They were assistants to J.D. Barnett at VCU, Virginia Commonwealth. That is to Tubby's left, Mike Sutton to his right, certainly right to our right, rather, Dave Hobbs and Reggie Hansen on that staff as well.
Haslam, boys, he got the stroke working. He is 8 of 9 from the free throw line, and the lead is down to 1.
Yeah, they're really taking advantage of his great talent inside by making him touch the basketball. And that's coach, and that's Billy Donovan. He insisted to his people in the timeouts, bring the ball inside.
Haslam had only 2 points in the first half, 10 in this half, though.
I'll tell you from an announcer's point, you and I, we want to see it right, the buzzer beater. I mean, we don't like blowouts like last night because you got to talk about everything other than the game. This is great because I think this is going to be a mailbox smasher. Go right to the last possession.
Now we're in the final 10 minutes now. That's picked up by Bonner.
I like that Prince is really thinking about attacking. He's much more aggressive today.
Hawkins got his feet tangled up, lost his shoe. Kentucky still got it.
Hamilton matched up with Bogans. Good defensive stopper against a guy that wants to try.
This is 4 on 5 right now because Hawkins is out of it with no shoe on. And now he's trying to hustle back as Nelson's weaving around him. Not a good shot.
Totally out of control.
Prince with a rebound.
Totally out of control, Brad.
Trying to hustle back to steal the pass from Prince and can't get a hold of it.
30 seconds.
And now a timeout taken by Kentucky as Prince was kind of stuck in front of his own bench by the defense.
You know, last year, Tayshaun Prince, the player of the year in the SEC. You should take a look right now. Hawkins going to lose his shoe. He's going to lose that shoe. Oh, look what I left behind. There's Shoes Hawkins. There's Shoes Hawkins. Look, he's saying, I'm going to get my shoe on. I can't give him an advantage like that. I'm going to get that shoe on. Bill Knightley, the fine trainer, sitting right there.
Then he has to run back with it half on because Nelson was on the break and luckily missed that shot.
The equipment guy, Mr. Knightley. What an institution he is at Kentucky. They love Mr. Knightley.
So that's the last 30-second timeout for Kentucky.
You know, Kentucky's been in 5 games that have gone right down to the wire. They're 1-4 in those games. They beat South Carolina. They haven't had players step up and make the big play late in the game.
Talking about new shoes and Hawkins trying to get his back on. There's some new shoes in the Steve McLean family. He and his lovely wife Emily had Austin last Thursday. There's Steve, one of the great SIDs in the business, and we want to congratulate him and his lovely wife on Austin joining the crew. 7 pounds 5 ounces, 19 inches long. McLean likes that because Steve's not the tallest guy in the world, so he's kind of liking the fact that his kid's showing a little bit of stretch to him.
And he overachieved in marriage. His wife is a pediatric cardiologist.
Well, haven't we all overachieved?
He carries, I mean, she carries that situation. Look at Mr. McLean. Hey, Brooks Downingdale does a great job as well there down in Kentucky. And he was sharing some tidbits with me. And one is, he said they can't wait for next year for Antoine Barber. Remember that name, a junior college super coming to Kentucky from Wabash Valley.
9 minutes left, Kentucky by 1.
Look at his zone right now. Florida going to make him think about the perimeter shot.
Tayshaun Prince kicks it outside to Fitch. Back inside, Estill working on Haslam. Missed the left hook. And now Haslam and Hayes go down. And that's going to go the other way as Haslam and Hayes, the 2 big fellas, battle underneath.
Alternate possession. As you see, Kamara sitting on the sideline. Ball goes inside. Now look at Haslam. He's going to challenge him. There's Estill with the miss. There's Haslam with the tie-up with Hayes. Hayes really a warrior. Really a tough, competitive kid on the inside.
So right now, Florida has an opportunity this trip down the floor to take the lead.
You got to protect your home turf. When you lose games at home, and Kentucky's lost 2 now to Georgia and Alabama, I mean, that's tough. And the same here with Florida. They lost to Georgia here. They can't afford now to lose to Kentucky on their floor.
Kentucky has out-rebounded Florida 15-4 in this half.
That means they're playing really aggressive, and they are. They came to play. If they only could make shots, life would be so much easier for that coaching staff.
Here was the guy that was making shots early in the game, but again on the drive, he has it blocked. Prince the outlet to Bogans against Hamilton.
And that's his game. Get in the open court, use his driving ability. Nelson looks like he got hurt a little bit.
I think his feelings are hurt. 3-point Wildcat advantage.
I'll tell you, when Bogans utilizes his driving ability, he's an effective scorer. And he helps that club go up a notch.
So now, instead of having an opportunity to take the lead, a 3-pointer would tie it. Bonner, nice spin on the baseline. Didn't get the shot to drop, though. And it's Keith Bogans with a rebound.
And nobody inside the rebound. Where's Haslam? Not around the glass. Nobody inside.
Haslam's the leading rebounder in the conference. Wasn't there for that one. And now Kentucky by 3 with Prince inside. Missed the hook. Estill trying to tip it in. And Prince comes out of the pile again.
Nice pass inside. Oh, good
Haslam
read.
with a steal.
Good read by Haslam.
Here's White on the break.
Oh, I love the way he runs. What a transition player. He's got an elevator's body. He can really get up. He's a Skywalker. Jamin James.
That cuts the lead to 1.
I'll tell you one thing, he can flat out fly. What a wide receiver that guy would be. I mean, he just flies up the floor.
So that turnover forced by Haslam as they tried the inbounds to Estill turns into a Hamilton assist to number 2. And he makes sure.
I'll tell you, he's so explosive. Look at those legs. Look at that bounce. He's the elevator man. Up, up, and away.
54-53 with 7:19 left. Rivalry week on this Super Tuesday. It all started really over the weekend, continues all week long. Don't forget on Thursday in the Big Ten, Purdue and Indiana at 7 on ESPN. On ESPN2 at 7, Maryland and Virginia will tangle in Charlottesville. And then back at 9 o'clock on ESPN, Duke and Carolina, all Thursday. Part of rivalry week on ESPN.
You know, it's really a shame. Purdue and Indiana are only playing once. So look here, the rebound totals. I mean, that's aggressive play by Kentucky. Almost a 5-to-1 ratio in the second half on the glass. Hey, when I think about Purdue and Indiana, you got to play twice. Can you imagine if Duke and Carolina didn't play twice? Right. I mean, that's a no-no. They're going to do something in the Big Ten to keep those rivalries in existence.
Halton shadowing Prince all the way up the court. But Tayshaun does a nice job on the handle.
Got the commissioner here, Roy Kramer. He's ecstatic. Welcome at halftime. likes the basketball this year in the SEC.
Bogan's got a nice pick from Estel, forced the shot, and he did get a foul out of the deal.
I think it's the best conference in basketball, followed by the Big 12. And the reason every game is so tough, when you look at the bottom and you look at clubs like Vanderbilt and Tennessee and Arkansas, tell me they're easy. They're not easy, baby. Not Cupcake City.
I thought you told me last night when we were in Big 12 country that the Big 12 was the best conference.
Yeah, but you know, I'm over here today.
That's exactly the point I'm making.
No, I didn't tell last time. I said SEC and the Big 12 to me are 1-2, and I think the ACC is down there at number 3.
Bogan's first miss from the free throw line after hitting 4 straight in the first half. Got the second.
Got to make those free throws late in the game. You got to make those free throws.
Just under 7 to go. Cats by 2.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at MBUSA.com.
Back in Gainesville, James White going up high, but still it's the Gators who trail the Wildcats by 2 with 6:59 remaining in the ball game. A 1-point game at halftime, 2 points now with 7 to go. And here's how the SEC East standings look. This is what we were talking about. Should Florida be able to win momentarily, at least, they tied Georgia, who play tomorrow night for the top spot. Kentucky trying to stay in the thick of it. When's the last time they were sub 500 in SEC play, which is what would happen should they lose tonight? They dropped to 3-4 in the conference.
Well, in 12 years, I said, the last 12 years, they haven't lost more than 4 games except one time in '99 when they lost 5 and were 11-5.
Florida playing better this half as far as taking care of the ball. They had 12 turnovers in the first half. They have 0 in the second half as they almost turned it over right there. Kept alive, Lee.
Nelson's got to make some shots for him now as you come down the stretch. The big players got to step it up. That means Haslam on the inside and Nelson on the perimeter.
Alton 4 on the shot clock. White's got a hoist one and he dropped the 3.
Wow, don't allow him to shoot that shot. They were in his face and he knocked it down.
Florida in front by 1. Bogan's misses. Hayes double teamed inside. He threw it away.
Now shot selection is so important. Understanding what a good shot is.
Lee works it over to Nelson. Another triple. Gone!
That was a good shot. Good ball reversal. They did a great job of swinging the basketball side to side. Nothing like 2 threes to give you momentum.
Remember, Kentucky's out of quickie timeouts to try to slow down momentum. 6 straight points. Tayshaun Prince tipped in by Estel.
Nice tip in by Estel. Good play by Prince. I like the fact that he wanted the ball and wanted to attack the basket. Marquise has been kind of quiet. He's had some big games for them.
Gators by 2.
Oh, watch that reach there. You got to be careful of reaching over the top.
Nelson stripped from behind. There's the first turnover, and it's Bogan solo.
Bogan's with the great steal. Nelson with a bad play. Turned his back. That's a no-no.
We're all tied up at 59.
3 years in a row now. Kentucky's come in this building and left with a loss. 3 years in a row. Florida's gone to Kentucky and left with a loss.
Kentucky won by 1 on their home floor last year. Florida won bigger in their ball game, 94-86 here.
They're going to have a tough time to try and beat Kentucky on senior day. It's going to be senior night. Wow, that place is something special down there.
Now we're under 5 minutes tied at 59.
I play my old Kentucky home.
Estel trying to dish to Hayes and got it to him.
Nice play by Estel. He read perfectly and reacted really in a positive way to find the open man.
Three-pointer won't go. Lee trying to follow with a one-hand jam. That shot by Halton wasn't the greatest one I've seen tonight.
No, he forced that shot. The shot wasn't available in their offense.
Now he's trying to pick up the defense against Fitch. Prince trying to save it, throws it away. 3-on-1, White again.
Oh, there's Mr. White. I'll tell you, he's stepping up big time. Not a good play by Prince there. Trying to save that out of control like he did. Not a real heady play by Tayshaun.
Not only that, I'm not sure that wasn't touched by Florida, which would not have made that an over and back, I don't think. And he just did what he thought he had to do, and in doing so, he threw it away.
He tried to make a hustle play, so you can't fault the kid for that.
But there's what it turned into.
Turned into an easy layup. This kid has got some high wire act, I'll tell you that.
Lead down at 2 for Kentucky with 4 to go. Just seems like it gets tighter every minute.
I'll tell you, Kentucky gets everybody's best hit as well because of that great tradition. The program's had so much success.
Hawkins penetrates, dishes to Hayes. Charging call.
Carl Hess with the call is a charging call. I'll tell you one thing, Tubby's kids have really come to play in this tough environment today. This man had his kids really ready to play.
We understand. Tie of the ball game. The year Kentucky won the national championship in '98, they went 7-1 in games decided by 5 points or less. This year, in that same situation, they are 1-4 in games decided by 5 points or less.
And that's because guys have not stepped up to make clutch plays at the end of the game. Guys have disappeared. In fact, in some of those games, Hawkins has tried to do it by himself, and guys like Prince and Bogans were nowhere to be found.
The largest deficit on the other side that Florida's overcome this year to win was 7 down against Temple. They trailed by 8 in this half, 47-39. And right now we're dead even at 61. Don't forget SportsCenter coming up following us. We'd like to get it to those guys at the end of regulation, but you never know.
We may be here for a while. Little double screen up on top, Bonner and Haslam. The right people got to shoot the ball now. You got to go inside Haslam, Bonner, and Nelson out on the perimeter.
Nice movement around the perimeter to Nelson. Missed the 3. And the rebound is all Bogan.
Now you want to take some time off. You want to be able to get the good shot right now. You got to think about Prince. You got to think about Bogans and his driving ability.
Hawkins has to think about taking care of the ball. He got it down to Prince on the low block, and he'll have to bring it back out on top. Estel find Hayes underneath.
I'll tell you, Hestel really passing the ball well.
And he's getting it to Hayes.
Yes, he is, and Hayes really free inside. Hayes has been solid tonight. He's nothing special in terms of his offensive ability, but his presence has given him toughness.
He's got a career high, Dick. 10 points for Hayes in his first start.
That's a big plus. Haslam. That's a big-time move. Haslam was afraid to follow, and he took it right to the goal with authority, showing why he's the premier post player in the SEC.
2.5 and change at 63-63.
I told you we're going to have a mail-out smash in this thing.
Prince inside is fouled down on the baseline. I think it's going to be Haslam, but let's wait for Gerald Boudreau's call. It is. That's his 3rd foul.
This game may come down to the last possession. Who has the ball in their hands? They go inside. Watch Haslam. Great move inside. Good drop step. Excellent drop step, and he finishes very strong. Take a look again. Defense attacks him. And he gets that drop step and explodes to the goal.
Tayshaun Prince at the free throw line. Not always perfect from there. And he shows it on that one. He's a 64% free throw shooter.
He's got to elevate that late in the game here.
This one could give them the lead. They were perfect in the first half from the line as a team, 6 for 6. And he got the second on the roll. 17 for Tayshaun Prince. It's a 1-point Cat lead.
Well, you know, Tayshaun and I think Bogans today have really played solid games. Bogans hasn't shot well, exceptionally well, but he's attacked the basket. Both guys really have stepped up tonight.
Haslam looking for Bonner.
He had him and missed him. You got to know when to give it to him.
Hamilton to Green, 15 on the shot clock, 2:10 to play. Looking for a pick. Haslam kind of gave Green a moving one. And then it's stolen away by Hayes.
And Hayes again showing his defensive effectiveness.
Only the 2nd turnover of the half for Florida. Couldn't have come at a more costly time.
It's amazing to think they only got 2 turnovers.
Prince almost took the 3. Now he will. Rebound. Who else? Hayes. But he's tied up by Nelson going to the floor.
That's going to be Kentucky's ball. And Hayes deserves to have the ball his way. How tough he's playing. They really found a guy to give him a lot of positive minutes now on the inside in Hayes. There he is with the steal.
He's got 10 points and 6 rebounds for the former All-State football player out of Modesto, California. He's playing like he's got pads on tonight.
And I'll tell you one thing, he did a great job early in this game to neutralize Haslam. Haslam only was 1 for 2 in the first half, and he defended him. Look at the rebound totals. Wow.
Sometimes that can confuse you, though. Florida had a 30-point rebound advantage over Arkansas over the weekend, and they lost.
I know, that was amazing. That's why it can be very deceiving.
Fans come to life with 1:40 left.
I see the zone right now. Big possession for Kentucky. Oh, all the Cat fans notice a big possession.
The Gator fans trying to make them confused with noise. Bogan's got a three.
What a big one. What a big one. Psychologically, that's got to give him a great lift.
Bogan's 20 points for Bogan's. Timeout, Florida.
I'll tell you, he responded to the fact that he sat on the bench to start the game. He got motivated by Mr. Smith. When he squares his body and gets the great look at the goal on top of the circle, he can knock this down.
Third three-pointer of the second half for Keith Bogan's. Kentucky fans have been waiting and waiting and waiting for him to start to do that.
I tell you, Tubby, you should have seen him react. Look at Tubby right there. He knows that's a monster one. Hey, look at him. He said, I love it. I love it. Look at him. I mean, has he got his heart and soul in it? What a passion.
I think maybe he ought to just throw that shirt instead of taking it to the cleaners.
Just get rid of it, man. With his dollars, he go out and buy a new wardrobe.
67-63. Still a lot of time left, but Kentucky with a 4-point lead.
This would be a great win for these kids from Kentucky to go on a road. This makes up a little bit for that loss at home to Alabama.
Still a lot of hoops left.
See, right now, Bonner's got to get some looks. They haven't gotten to him at all.
Bonner only has 9 points. He almost took a three there. They lob it down low. Haslam draws a lot of blue jerseys, and Green knocks a three.
I'll tell you, Green would be the fifth option in that offensive attack, and he knocks it down.
1-point game with 1 to go.
Florida needs a defensive stop right now. Playing man-to-man. Oh, what a great finish. Here we go. Mailbox time.
Estel trying to set a pick for Prince. The floater's good by Tayshaun Prince.
That's what the Stars have to do. Step up. And that time he wanted the rock in his hands, and it was a PT Fear.
Prince with 19. Bogan's with 20. The crowd quieted momentarily. It's a 3-point game with 38 seconds left.
Now you got to think about Nelson and his three-point shooting ability. Don't have to think three. Take it to the goal, and that's what he's doing here.
And a whistle. It's going to be a foul on Estel. If it is, it's his fourth as Haslam tried to drive that baseline, and it is Marquise Estel's fourth foul.
We've had a good one here tonight, Brad Nessler. A good one. Two quality teams playing really tough on a defensive end.
That's not an easy shot to make. Over Bonner, and he had to float it. He couldn't use the glass, and you're in a kind of a no man's land about 8 feet from the hoop, and he dropped it in.
You know what's really good news for the Kentucky fans right there is Haslam misses that free throw. The last two possessions, who had scored for him? The 1-2 punch of Bogan's and Prince. They have responded. The coaching staff loves what they've seen.
Free throws killed Florida against Arkansas. They probably could have won that game in overtime. Tonight, Udonis Haslam's done his job, but he missed that last one, and he missed both of them. Going to the floor. The scramble's on. Prince has got it. And he's fouled in the backcourt by Nelson.
He makes these free throws now, and it becomes really tough for Florida to get out of here with a W. Those two free throws, big misses by Haslam, who's been effective all night on the free throw line.
So a 3-point game. It's going to be, even if he only hits one, a 2-possession game.
At the line for Kentucky.
This will be the first time that Florida loses to lose 3 in a row since 97-98. Look at this guy's heart and soul in every possession. You can see he feels it.
Tayshaun Prince at the line. He has hit 2 of 4 tonight.
I'll tell you, the big two.
And again,
oh, big miss right there. But
I told you the free throw shooting by both teams has been suspect from their big-time players, and Tayshaun Prince just left the door open for Florida. He knows it. He's worked hard. He's tired, and that one rimmed out on him. And he's only 2 out of 5 from the stripe. Sports Center coming up in a little less than 22 seconds. Carl and Rich will be along. Of course, it was Super Bowl Media Day. Everybody out there asking the question about who's going to start at quarterback for New England, and Bill Belichick will have the final answer for everybody tomorrow afternoon. Mike Tyson's going to have to look for somewhere else to fight the NBA All-Stars that will be there, and the guys that should be and didn't make it. That's what Carl and Rich have coming up on SportsCenter 21.6 seconds from now. This is what we wanted. We got it.
Yeah, we wanted a close game, but we got ourselves a close game after the blowout last night. Right now, strategically, you look at Kentucky. I know we get back to that story again. Do you allow them to shoot the 3 and get the tie, or do you foul and maybe make them make the 2 and you get the ball out of bounds? If you do that, you certainly got to wait until it gets to 5 or 6 seconds on that clock. If you're right now, certainly Florida, you got to think about your 3-point shooters, and they got guys that can knock those down with Bonner and Nelson. And if you're Tubby Smith, he's talking about matching up with those guys and not allowing them the good look for the 3.
So it's all come down to the last 21 seconds. Dick talked about Florida. The last time they've lost 3 in a row was a long time back, it seems.
97-98.
Alabama, Kentucky, and South Carolina in a stretch of February that was tough on them.
Well, you know, right now, if you're Florida, you come on the floor. If I'm Kentucky and they run some time down in that clock, I would think about not allowing them to get a look at that 3 because they're so effective out there from the 3. And if you're Kentucky, you don't want to go overtime on the road because the advantage goes to the home team usually.
Huge rebounding advantage in the half for Kentucky.
Oh, they've been dominant. That means you're playing aggressive basketball, and that's a tribute to Tubby Smith. His kids really responded after that loss from Alabama.
Now Kentucky and Tubby Smith wants aggressive defense. Billy Donovan is looking for 3 more points to send this game to an extra session.
Well, right now you got Bogans on Nelson, who's a 3-point shooter. You got Bonner out here.
There's an open lane for Green. He had to take it.
He got the layup. And now you got to think of steal or foul right away.
Could have fouled Tayshaun Prince. They fouled Bogans instead. Haslam does. They tried, I think, to foul Tayshaun, and he got rid of it to Bogans.
Florida fouls on number 50, Udonis Haslam.
Now, Bogans tonight is 5 out of 6 from the free throw line, but he, like Prince, right around that 64-65% from the stripe.
Yeah, wide open right here. You see the big hole. Goes right to the goal. Green. Nobody challenges them. They were out, extended, trying to play for the 3. Got to make these free throws right now. This is pressure, but you're an experienced player. You got to convert.
And it's in and out. That leaves the opportunity for Florida with 10.1 seconds, regardless of whether this one goes down or not.
They got a shot.
That's all they can ask for right now.
He said it would come down to the last.
He missed them both. Florida with a chance to win on this trip. Nelson taking it on the inside. The jumper, no good. 3 seconds left. Kentucky's got the ball and a nice clear out by Hawkins. Kentucky will survive it unless there was a whistle called down on the baseline.
See right there, poor job by Florida. You're only 1 point down. You got to go inside to the big guy there in that possession.
There was a foul called, so they're walking it down. Carl Hess called a foul on the baseline. Tayshaun Prince is the guy that's talking to him. I don't know if the foul was on Tayshaun. I never did see the official call.
There's Nelson right now. See right in that possession. Yeah, they rushed it too quickly. You got to get something going offensively. Could have got the ball inside to Haslam.
The foul, I guess, was on Bonner, so Hawkins goes to the line. And he drains it.
You got to really play solid defense here. Not much that Florida can do. Not with 0.7 on the clock.
Now it's going to take about a
miracle.
70, 80-foot shot here. Whether this free throw goes or not. 0.7 seconds. And just trying to waste time, Bonner throws it the length of the court. And Kentucky's won.
What a great win for Tubby Smith in Kentucky.
There's 2 old friends. Now they're friends again, but it's going to be bittersweet for Billy Donovan at home because they have lost their 3rd straight game, and Kentucky a huge win on the road, 70-68 the final. Kentucky over Florida. So Kentucky stays in the hunt in the SEC East. That's going to wrap it up. From Gainesville and the O-Dome, for Dick Vitale and our ESPN crew, I'm Brad Nessler. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Rich and Carl standing by with SportsCenter.